As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Sometimes we need to slow down and remember the simple pleasures in life. Good coffee, good books, and good company. Come on in. Take a seat. The coffee's just been brewed. Let's see who we have in the coffee shop today. Well, let's see who's hiding in the coffee shop. Hey, Doc, you finally made it, huh?
Yeah, well, you dragged me kicking and screaming, but no, I'm here.
Well, I had to
no,
get you here
it wasn't kicking and
somehow.
Yes?
I mean, I produce your show, so it's only fair you should come on mine.
Yes, that is fair, especially considering somebody let it leak.
Ooh, me, little old innocent me, Doc. And what did I let leak?
My book is out! Yay!
Yeah, and I also kind of leaked your scavenger hunt, but I knew you'd forgive me for it.
Yes, that's true. I did. I am going to forgive you for it, and that's cool. Thank you. Hey, Jess, you know what I've realized?
What, Doc?
I was on the very first episode of Coffee Shop, and you've had a long break of Coffee Shop, and you're relaunching it now. And I'm on the first episode of the relaunch. Isn't that awesome?
That is amazing, Doc. I kind of made the connection, but not as much as you did.
Okay, maybe I just a bit overrated. That's fine. Give me my coffee, woman. That's my problem. I need coffee. Where's the coffee?
Oh, I believe your preference is chai latte, darling.
Yeah, that's true. Nice and big one. Here's my mug.
There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, not a problem.
I needed that.
Gotta get something to drink around here.
Yeah, no, you definitely do. So, Jess, how are you doing? Are we enjoying the coffee?
Of course.
Are we enjoying our good company?
Come on, Doc. I always love hanging out on air with you.
Well, I suppose we better start talking about the good book.
Yeah, because I'm not the writer here.
No, I am. All right, so basically my book is out. Yay, finally. My book is Hidden Traps, a writer's guide to protecting your online platform. It is a non-fiction. It's not fiction, which is what I would prefer to be writing, but no, it was a book I thought that was just so important that I just write it. And let's just face it, it was incredibly important for me to do this. Over the last 2 to 3 years, I have actually amassed an amazing amount of knowledge about how various different platforms work and working with the internet and doing things like Writer's Platform.
Doc,
for anyone who doesn't
understand,
yes?
You're always my first call whenever I got some kind of question with my website.
I know, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but hey, that's what happens.
Hey, you saved me from those crazy charges. You helped me figure out that I had the wrong color scheme. Come on.
Yeah, no, we're not going to go there. Yeah, no, we're definitely not going there.
I thought you said everybody needed a second set of eyes.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's a bit like when you're writing, you always have somebody else look at what you've done, just to give you a feedback and some ideas and what needs to carry on, and websites and your social media actually, and what you're sending out and how you're being perceived. It's always good to have just another opinion there saying, yes, that's good, or you might want to rethink that one.
Yeah, like when I was trying to go with too much red, white, and blue and you couldn't read half of it.
Yeah, well, we know you bleed red, white, and blue, but your website did not need to, okay? I'm sorry.
Well, you let me sneak a little bit of it into POV.
Of course I did, but... And of course there's a little bit on your coffee shop website too, but... Not too much.
Not the amount I'd normally run away with. I mean, remember, Doc, you're talking to the crazy lady that had a red, white, and blue wedding.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh no.
Oh, yes, even a flag cake.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, okay, right, carrying right along.
You said I bleed red, white, and blue. You're not far off. I've had people swear that I bleed flags, I bleed stars and stripes,
Yeah, no, we'll just carry right along. We'll just leave that, pat it on the head, move right along, that's fine. Well, coming back.
So you learned a lot, not just about web design. In fact, do you cover web design in your book?
To a rudimentary level, yes. Basically, regardless whether you are going to be hiring a web designer to actually build your website or not, you need to have a basic understanding of web design yourself. comes down to need to be able to tell somebody who is designing the website what it is you want. And if you can't give them that, what they're going to do is they're just going to create some basic off-the-shelf system, plug in your content, and it's going to look like every other website out there. It's not going to be unique. It's not going to be you. It's not going to be your website. It's going to be somebody else's website, but rebranded as yours. And that's not what you want either.
No.
So yeah, I do cover some basic rudimentary understandings about web design, some of the trends that are coming through on on websites and the downsides.
What are the trends on websites? I don't keep up with such things, Doc.
Well, some of the trends are things like responsive layouts. I don't know if you've noticed when you go to certain websites and you look at it on a phone or a tablet or your computer and you rescale your window on your computer to say full screen or a small little screen, and the website actually changes its layout in a dynamic fashion to accommodate the window size.
I have noticed
and that's actually
that.
really cool.
It is awesome because, well, Doc, I don't know how often you've seen my desktop, but it's usually pretty busy, and often I'll have 3 or 4 websites hiding in corners.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. But even going from a tablet, you're on a tablet and you're looking at it portrait, and then you flip your tablet and you go landscape, and the whole website layout changes so you can see more or less on the screen. And those responsive layouts are it's a positive trend. But it is mobile devices that's brought it about.
Now,
some of the negative trends
what
that
are your
occurred,
top 3? I know my top pet peeve with websites.
I have to admit, I do not like pop-ups.
My top one is anything that starts audio playing with me. Because a lot of times when I'm doing my show prep, I'll be surfing all over different news sites, and I may be trying to grab a clip from site 1 while I'm surfing sites 3, 4, and 5. And I have 2 sitting there waiting to print out for my show, and then site 5 or 6 will start yelling or screaming, and I'm like, will you shut up? You just ruined my audio clip.
Oh, yeah, no, I can imagine that one be really, really annoying. No, no, we don't want those. Those are not nice. I don't like pop-ups, and I'm talking about the ones where you log into a new window. You've opened up a new website, you've opened up a page, and within seconds of you being on the page, the next thing you know, you've got this pop-up that shows up in your face. Give me your email address. Sign up for my email list. I want your details now. It's like, no, I was reading that article. I was halfway through it, and you've just interrupted my train of thought. No, go away. It's just, no.
You don't know how many of those I deal with on all kinds of news outlet sites.
Ugh.
The
yeah,
professional
no, the thing
sites
is,
seem to be the worst, Doc, until I get to certain sites. I know which ones are going to pop me up to death, and which ones are going to just happily let me go about my day.
Yeah, and the ones that you're going to happily go about your day are probably the ones you go to more frequently, aren't they?
Well, unfortunately, it depends on the day, Doc. If I need a story off Press TV, which is an Iranian news website, which I know pops up frequently, I gotta go.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I can understand. But still, no, I don't like it. The thing is there's actually news for those that also don't like pop-ups. Google has actually started to penalize websites in their searches if they are using pop-ups on the mobile versions of the websites. So if you have one of these responsive layout websites that is the same layout or the same website for a mobile device and for a computer, and if you are using pop-ups, guess what? Google's going to penalize you. They're not going to like you. So
cool.
Yeah.
Because I had a website lock up my phone the other day because of a pop-up. I was doing some research on the fly, Doc.
Oh, I've actually got a story about that in particular, actually. I've been following this blog series by Joynelle Schultz, and it's called 1,000 True Fans. And what she's been doing, she started this at the beginning of the year, and what she's been doing is she's been trialing all of the different ideas that are out there about social media marketing, about building your list, making your website, building your platform, all of these things. She's tried these different ideas. And some of them have done really well, and some of them have bombed abysmally. The one in particular that bombed abysmally was the pop-up. She installed the pop-up. Less than 24 hours later, she took it down.
That
it
wasn't
locked
a very
up
long test.
websites.
Oh, so it locked up computer websites, not just like cell phones?
It locked up my tablet. I couldn't shut it down, so I couldn't even comment on it, going, you might want to rethink this one. And there were so many people that had complained on that particular post saying, no, this doesn't work. No, turn it down. No, yuck, ooh. And yeah, less than 24 hours, she called that particular experiment done.
Can't say I blame her. I don't like I said, I think my second pet peeve would be Mr. Pop-Up, but unfortunately I'm forced to deal with him all the time.
Yeah.
What I hate more is the website I'm logged into that gives me a pop-up to subscribe to the website when I'm already logged in as a paying member of that website.
Oh, that one takes the cake. That one's great. I love it.
Oh, I've got one of my routine websites that does that to me every time I go there. And I already have the paid subscription. What more do you guys want? And I'm already logged in.
I really don't get it.
So, all right, now that we've talked about Mr. Annoying Pop-Up.
Yep.
And Mr. Lousy Audio Starter. Oh, that one will drive me to drink some days, Doc. Speaking of which, I think I need a refill.
Yeah, good idea. No, I've still got some in mine. Oh, hang on. Okay, ready for a refill.
There you go, Doc.
Oh, yeah, warm up the hands. Oh.
Yeah, because you're in winter.
Yeah, it's freezing down here. And I'm fighting with my cat over the heater. That's not good.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, I'll bet little Miss Kitty is all happy.
Oh, she is. That she is. So, besides websites, what do you want to know about?
Well, what's the biggest thing you've found with social media?
The biggest thing with social media, the biggest annoying thing with social media is actually some of the people who they use automation or the cross-linking features that in various different social media to cross-link their posts, but they don't realize what it's actually doing. And as a consequence, that just makes them look like they can't complete a sentence. And it actually is harmful to your reputation as a writer. One in particular is people who link Facebook to Twitter.
Oh, see, I do Twitter to Facebook.
Yeah, Twitter to Facebook works well, and that one's fine. But Facebook to Twitter doesn't work. What it actually does is on your Twitter feed, it just puts a link to your Facebook post. What's the point of that?
I don't follow those links.
No one does, and that's the point. All it does is it makes it look like that you're just not even there, that you couldn't care less. It's actually more harmful to have a look of a feed that has no presence to it whatsoever, because it makes it look like you don't care, that you're just doing that particular platform because you were told to do it. And if you're not going to put the time and effort and energy into a particular social media site, then what's the point in having it? Just because somebody told you that you should have it is not a good reason to have it. I'll give you an example of the type of writer that wouldn't benefit from some of these things. Say your ultimate dream as a writer was to become the next Dr. Seuss. Okay? Twitter is not going to help that writer at all.
Why not?
Because the connections that you want to make with your readers and the connections you want to make with parents, they're not going to be through Twitter. It's the wrong platform for them. You're going to be better off going to your local schools and asking to volunteer your time to read stories to the children. That's going to be much more beneficial to you as a writer of children's stories if you want to be the next Dr. Seuss than Twitter will be any day. Do you see what I mean?
So you're saying that not all writers' platforms are meant to be the same?
No, they're not. Writer's platform has got to be unique. It's got to be custom and tailored to the person. There has to be personalities associated with it. If you're really a shutterbug, say you love to take lots of photos and say you've actually managed to develop a beautiful eye for photos, then platforms such as Instagram are actually going to be very good for you because that's where the photographers hang out. That's where they're there. But for someone like me, I don't take photos, and half the time I forget that I actually have a decent camera on my phone. Probably doesn't help that I've only had my phone for a couple of months, and prior to that, the camera on my phone was the most disgusting thing ever. It was really poor resolution. It took horrible photos. So I don't tend to remember about taking photos. So Instagram for me is a waste of time.
Well, I'm not on Instagram, but I do like to take photos. But I don't share most of my photos on social media.
So again, for you, Instagram's a waste of time. It's not the platforms that you are wanting.
No, because I'm just not, I do take photos, but I take the odd photo. I take the one at the promotion ceremony of the surprise spouse with the certificate. I take, that's the kind of stuff I tend to find myself taking. I don't take 50,000 pictures on vacation. That's not me, Doc.
It's not me either. So, and that's the thing. You have to think about your personality, the way you work, and build your platform from there. But doing the Facebook to Twitter thing, just because somebody told you had to have Twitter, which is probably why they're doing it, it doesn't look good. It really doesn't. And sometimes what can happen is you'll actually get more than just the link. Sometimes you'll get a couple of words, but it will be an incomplete sentence. It will be partial sentence. And half the time you're looking at it going, what is that even supposed to say?
I think I've followed 3 Twitter to Facebook links. 3, ever.
Yeah, I just don't do it. And I think most people don't. You look at it and you're like, well, why do I want to click on that link? What's the point in that?
This was by a public figure and I was chasing a story, so.
Yeah.
I'll deal with just about anything to get that information I'm seeking. I'll chase it as far as I can. I've been known to cold call the CDC to get answers before I go on air. I've been known to chase down audio from the United Nations when North Korea, of all people, has a press conference. And that ain't the easiest stuff to understand, Doc. Their English, they could use several editors.
Oh, I can understand that. But again, for your average writer, do stuff that is going to help promote your writing. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. That's why we do this.
All right, so what is your biggest trap you ran into overall? If you had to pick one that just...
The most dangerous. Oh my gosh, the most dangerous one. It was actually, I was horrified when I saw it. Thankfully, I didn't fall into this trap myself because there are certain steps that I have always taken to protect myself, protect my family, and protect myself. And to me, it was just instinct. I'm talking about something what's called a Who Is search. If you go to whois.com, you can type in the domain of any domain in the world. except for government domains. Government domains are the only ones that are completely obscured and that you cannot get the information on them. But company domains, organizational domains, all of those ones. So you're talking about, abc.com and things like that. You can find out who hosts the site, when is the site up for renewal for its renewal of the domain. You can find out who owns the site, who administers it, and of course, other information that's all there. If you go through and you run a whois.com search on a significant number of websites, just pick one at random, you will likely find that the author involved didn't pay for what we call the privacy protection, and hence you can get their home address, their home number, and their private email.
Whoa!
In this whois.search.
That's insane, Doc. I'm sorry.
It is
but
public. It is out there. It is scary. And most people don't even know that this search exists.
Oh, Host Kitty's got a comment about this. He doesn't like the idea that of his the information for where his kitty chow's hiding being out there. He says,
I was scared.
Keep that address to myself.
Yeah. I have always paid for privacy protection. When I got my domains, I saw this thing. It came up because it's something you have to pay for extra. It's on top of your domain registration. And it came in and it said, pay this extra bill. And I went, oh, what's this? And all it said is privacy protection, keep your private details private. And I went, oh, that sounds great. Tick, no brainer there. And I have discovered recently that some host providers don't offer it.
What?
Yeah. I was mortified to discover that. So I've actually got a writer friend who she's with one hosting company locally, and they don't offer it. And she's been fighting with them, and she's actually seriously considering leaving their services because of the fact that her private details, her home address, her phone number, and her email are out there publicly.
I value my privacy, Doc. I value my privacy. A couple bucks for privacy protection. Sign me up.
Here's the thing. If you're with WordPress.com, which is one of the free web hosting sites that you can get a custom domain added onto that site, and it's about $18 per year, US. The privacy protection is another $8 US per year. $8.
$8. That's 2 cups of coffee, Doc.
$8.
Especially if you're talking that overpriced Starbucks stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, the safety of your family.
That's worth 100 cups of coffee. Even in
maybe I'm being a bit extreme or whatever, but I know of so many cases where stalkers have actually gone after people, and they're not even public domain, they're not even public figures. They're just everyday Joe Blug person. And the next thing you know, they've got somebody coming after them because they just happen to have liked the way they looked. Don't risk it. It's just not worth it. It really isn't.
Well, speaking of stalkers, I was cyber stalking you a little bit today before the show.
Oh, what did I do?
No, I saw something about the word copyright come across my screen.
Oh, yeah. Those are interesting topics, those ones with copyright, because, of course, in the U.S., you have your copyright registration process. It's actually recommended that every writer gets a copyright certificate and you lodge your copyright, especially when you're published. However, in my home country of New Zealand, and in Australia, as I've recently discovered as well, we don't have a formal registration process for copyright. It's believed that the moment something is in tangible format, that it is covered by copyright laws.
Well, I've heard that works in the U.S. too, but, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't want to have to chase every episode of my show, though.
Well, no. Somebody trying to go through and claim the copyright on your show, good luck to them for that. But when you're talking about things like writing, it's a lot easier to actually falsify records. Because what happens is there's a few writers out there who are excitingly showing little tidbits of their writing on their websites, or they're using sites like Wattpad and actually sharing parts of their writing as they go, as they're working on their writing, and they haven't quite finished it yet, so they're still working on it. And what can happen is you can get some of these guys who are just bleep, 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 bleep. Sorry.
I got that one for you, Doc.
Word.
They're...
Yeah, they are definitely those. Okay, and what they can do is they'll copy your content from your websites and from your other places that you may have shared it, and they will go through and create a false computer record saying that they own the copyright. And then they'll go through and go knocking on the door of Amazon, of all places, and say, I own the copyright of this story. This person stole it from me, at which point it becomes your responsibility to prove that other person wrong.
Okay,
if you
so
haven't
you
got a
have to
formal
prove it-
certificate,
Prove it wrong? That's nuts.
that's why they're called bleeps,
I mean,
because they're just nasty.
that's one way of putting it, Doc. I think I'd have a different answer, but we'll go with nasty.
Like I said, insert profanity here.
How about pariah? That's a safe one. That's a safe word for on air. Pariah. Can we agree with that one for the day, at least?
Oh, yeah. Nasty also works. I'm sorry. They just, yeah. And having to claim your copyright is just, it makes it really hard to know what to do. And the thing that's ironic about it, I was taking a look at the Australian website because, like I said, New Zealand doesn't have any formal registration process, and Australia is obviously the closest neighboring country. So I thought, well, let's just look at their process and what can I do? According to the Australian Copyright Council's website, if you are working with U.S. marketing, they actually recommend that you contact the U.S. Copyright Council.
Okay, then.
The Australian government recognizes the importance of having a copyright certificate, yet they don't offer it in their own country. Am I missing something here?
I got an answer for that one, Doc.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, no, that definitely isn't how it works. But I found a solution, one that is cost effective, because going to the U.S. Copyright Council for every single manuscript, for every single image that I use that I've actually paid for, good, decent money for, it's expensive venture because it's $35 US per application. But I found a website that is an international copyright registrar. It's called copyrightindex.com. It cost me $90 New Zealand to sign up for this site so I could get unlimited number of copyright applications in. And I lodged the application and I get it in my email within 5 minutes.
Oh, no,
that's great.
That sounds effective. Hey, Doc, guess what time it is?
Oh, it's time to fill up the coffee and then have these ads, yeah?
Yeah, it's time to go pay those radio station bills. Gotta take that commercial break.
Okay.
Catch you on the other side, Doc.
Coffee!
You got it. And we will fill up those mugs and see you guys on the other side.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com. KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
All right, thank y'all for hanging in there with us while we paid those radio station bills. Yes, even in radio, there are bills to be paid and advertisers to keep happy. Right, Doc?
Mm-hmm. We get them all the time.
Yeah, you're used to the drill, so I didn't have to explain too much to you.
That's okay.
I work with you often enough, Doc. Often enough. At least once a month.
Yeah.
And sometimes I lasso you for other things, too, even if it's just, hey, Doc, I need some background info.
Or, hey, Doc, I just did this. Can you check and see what it looks like on the internet?
Yeah, that's my other favorite one. All right, so we've got our writing. We found a place to register. We've said that photographers would probably prefer Instagram to Twitter, and that the next Dr. Seuss would be better off at the local primary school reading to kids. And that, well, who is? Just buy the privacy protection, and if you can't get it, make it so that you can get it.
Yeah, and if you really don't want to have it, that's your choice. Just be aware that what the dangers are. You're leaking your information across the internet.
Well, I know a couple of writers that are actually businesses, and I'm talking like well-known, recognized authors. And I'm not going to name my favorite author, but I'm sure you know who it is, Doc. And I actually did a Who Is search while we were on commercial break for his website, and it comes up with his company information, his corporate information.
I actually decided to do, dare I say it, J.K. Rowling the other day. And again, it brings up her corporate information as well.
Right. So the big time authors like that, their information may be out there, but I can almost guarantee you it ain't a home address.
Yeah, no, it won't be. I think in J.K. Rowling's case, I think it's her agent I think it's the agency that she's with.
Well, I know with my favorite writer, it's not the agency. I checked that because I know who his agent is. Because, of course, he mentions his agent in the acknowledgments in every book. So you go through the book and see who's been mentioned in the past 5 books, chances are it's the agent.
Okay, that sounds like a reasonable...
Well, once you get past the wife and the family, the other one that everybody thanks every book is if they're agented, is usually the agent.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's how I kind of went, that must be... And plus, my authors actually mentioned who his agent is in more than one interview, so... Yeah, I cyberstalk him too, Doc.
Yeah, I know. So that's the thing. That's why you need to be careful what you do, and you need to be careful how you do certain things on the internet. Because industry professionals cyberstalk. Fans cyberstalk. Hey, I cyberstalk agents and publishing houses, so, tables turned. It's public information, so why not? Why can't we have fun and take a look at it? But we just have to be smart with what we're doing and protect ourselves. And that's basically what it comes down to. And that's what Hidden Traps is really all about. It's taking these steps to protect yourselves, including, dare I say it, the bank balance.
Oh, what about the bank balance, Doc? Now you got my attention because, well, I'm kind of stingy with spending cash. I only like to spend cash if I have to. If I can find another way to do it, guess what?
Yeah, well, I fell into this trap myself. I'm guilty as charged. I had set up a domain for my editorial business, Black Wolf Editorial, and I realized when I set up the domain, I sort of realized a few months later that I really needed an email address because the domain of which I was with WordPress.com at the time, and when you have a custom domain, you can get what they call email aliases. So basically, somebody sends an email to a fake email, and it automatically gets forwarded to an email of your choice. And that's what they call an email alias. But I couldn't respond from these email aliases, and it looked really unprofessional. So I paid the bill, and I bought a Gmail account with my custom domain. $60 later, thank you very much.
Okay, well, $60. That doesn't sound too bad, Doc.
Yeah, that was on top of the $26 per year that I was paying for the domain itself.
Now, how is that a trap?
Well, if you do your homework and you do your research, you can actually get a self-hosted site for less than that.
You're kidding me.
And with your self-hosted sites, you can get unlimited number of emails, not just one, which is all I had, but unlimited. And you get no restrictions on what you can and cannot do with your website.
That sounds
do you
like
see the trap now?
Yeah, you had to kind of connect the dots with me, but yowzers.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to go
believe
self-hosted
I fell into
at that point? Okay, why isn't everybody self-hosted at that point?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you're going to pay the money for a domain and then pay $60 for an email address, hang fire on paying $60 for just a singular email address and actually do some homework and take a look at self-hosting packages instead, because it's going to be much better for you in the long run. If you are happy to not have a custom email, then staying with the free hosted sites with the domain sitting on top of it, so you're paying like in the order of about $25 to $30, by all means, go for it. And I did that for about 2 years on my personal website. It was the business website that forced me to move to self-hosted because I couldn't keep paying $80 a year for this website that I only had one email and I couldn't do much with it.
Right. I can see how that would be, well, flat out annoying. And counterproductive. Now that you explained it, because at first, hey, $60, I've got a Gmail-capable email address with my own domain, with my domain. I can log in the same way I do everything else. Doesn't sound half bad. It really doesn't.
Yeah, until you look at the numbers.
Well, that's why you're Doc.
Yeah, and it was a trap that I fell into. And so coming up with other ways of just saving the bank balance is so much nicer, and my husband is so much happier for it too, because now I've got multiple domains and they all have their own emails. And if my kids wanted a domain, they can have one too.
What about Miss Kitty Cat?
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. My kitty cat does not need to have one.
Okay, so the cat can't have one, but the kids could.
Yeah, well, the kids can type. Well, actually, no, I did. I used to have a cat that could turn the computer off. It was hilarious, actually. Told my husband it's time to turn off the computer, come and have some dinner, and the cat jumped up on the desk, and the next thing he knew, he got Windows is shutting down.
Okay, then. I've got a cat that turns on the TV.
Yeah, no.
But then Philip is not your average host kitty. So, all right. So we've got about 15 minutes left. Tell me, how long did it take you to write this book?
I started writing various different pieces of hidden traps about 2 years ago. In fact, I went back and took a look. The very first blog post that's on blackwolfeditorial.com is actually one of these hidden traps, security dangers of social media posts.
Really?
And I was like, wow. And that's 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago that was written. But I've actually been accumulating this knowledge for quite some time. And the actual writing process, when I actually said, no, I'm not writing this as blog posts anymore, I'm going to write this as an actual book, that process started in December last year, maybe November.
Wow, so less than a year to actually crank out the actual book.
Yeah.
But that's because you already had pretty much most of the research done, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was basically when I sat down and was doing the writing side of it, all of the research was done, or most of it anyway, and I was just getting the odd bits and pieces. But here's an annoying story. I sent the book to a copy editor to take a look at the book because, of course, I'm an editor, but even I don't edit my own work. I get somebody else to look at it because you're too close to your stories, you're too close to your writing, you can't see the forest for the trees, and you sometimes need somebody who can take a step back. So I sent it off to the editor. 2 days later, 2 days! And an update had been rolled out on WordPress. And one of the chapters, because I've got some chapters for self-hosting and what sort of plugins are really good for WordPress sites on self-hosted sites, that chapter had to be rewritten.
Okay.
The entire chapter.
Wow, talk about a frustration. I mean, Doc, so did you call the editor and say, don't read this chapter?
I did with that one. And then she hadn't quite finished with the edits and all the bits and pieces. And 2 weeks after that, WordPress had rolled out their changes. Twitter had rolled out an entire new interface where everything was all in the funky circles instead of the nice squares that they used to be. And they actually changed their search algorithms and the way they do things, and everything had changed. And it's like, great. That chapter needs to be written too. Fantastic.
I was just happy when Twitter stopped charging us character count for pictures. Although I don't like the little round ball pictures. I preferred the squares.
Yeah, I preferred the squares as well, but no, I don't. Because the circle, it's hard to figure out what's going to look good.
Yeah, I don't think you want an image of just your left eye up there,
And then, of course, when you're dealing with things like logos and slogans, like for the station logo, you have to get it just in the right portion of the image, or the O gets cut off, or the K gets cut off. No, I don't like it either. Give me the square. I want the square.
I like.
Can I be this square peg trying to go into a round hole?
Yeah, I'll take square peg for 200, please. No, but so it took you a little less than a year to write the book, which personally, okay, I tried and miserably failed at Nano. I mean, we've pretty well proven Jessie ain't a writer.
You got what, 2,000, maybe 3,000 words out?
Hey, for me, that's actually more than I've ever written.
That's true.
Nothing compared to my wordsmiths, but for me, that was a huge word count, actually. But then I spend all my time talking out my stuff. I don't, if I had a brain to mouth to keyboard connection where the keyboard could just type for me, because I've tried those dictation programs and they just don't work.
Those dictation programs, they can't keep up.
No,
I have
they
to talk too
can't.
slowly.
And they're always missing something. And come on, Doc, I just don't talk that slow.
Yeah, no, neither do I. I don't like them.
All right, so publishing, traditional, self, what'd you do?
Well, I actually started my own publishing house.
Doc!
Because of the fact that I was dealing with time-sensitive information, I knew the so-called traditional path was not going to be helpful. I mean, when you send a book off to an editor and 2 days later a chapter has to be rewritten, I mean, that's the time-sensitive information that I'm dealing with. So I decided it was actually better to create a publishing house that is a niche on these how-to books, and that's all it's ever going to publish at this stage, is literally the how-to books. Because I want other writers, or for that matter, say one of the other station cats decides they want to actually write a book about podcasting, which I think Rick was talking about that.
Rick keeps trying to talk Ann into helping him write this thing. Well, if I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ann is one of those writer creatures, right?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought I'd
they
seen
were
something
talking
about word
writing
counts.
this book, and they're not going to want to publish it, go through a traditional publishing house per se, and they're not going to want to go through the effort that it takes to actually compile the book and make it look good and do the typesettings and all the other bits and pieces, or even for that matter, having to deal with the distribution. They don't want to have to go through that.
Do you know how little patience Ann can actually have some days, Doc?
Yeah, I do, and that's the scary thing.
Yeah, her doing typesetting?
Yeah, no.
Let's just bounce that idea on out
right
the door.
Out the door. Thanks. Right out the door. Yeah, no. So that's why I set up this publishing house, because I wanted people who have knowledge to feel that they can get it out there, but not have to actually go through the rigmarole that is required for self-publishing. So it's a massive learning curve for me. Trying to deal with software, trying to deal with distributions, trying to figure out what I have to do for the marketing side of things, doing it all. And so it is a massive, massive learning curve. But I think it's going to work well. I really do. Because these books are not your average run-of-the-mill book. They really are just resources to help people take the next step.
Right, and they can't sit around waiting for 2 years, because trust me, I've seen changes in podcast stuff just since I've been doing my show, Doc, before we even got hooked up. So I can imagine how time sensitive even a podcast book could be. I mean, there's some things that will always hold true. I mean, you got to do your audio checks. We do that every time we record.
It's my goal that when I get given a book, when it's ready for, it's a fully drafted book, it's my goal to try to get the publication schedule down to 6 months. I know that's still a long time and you still run the risk of having things that change, but what makes it better than the so-called big guys is the big books or those big deals. They can take up to 18 months before you see them on the shelf, especially nonfiction. And I want to see if I can get it down to 6 months. It's going to be a lot of work.
Months?
Yeah.
Okay, a lot can change in 18 months.
It can. And that's why for things like the software and these sorts of books, they have to be short turnarounds. We've got no choice. They've got to be short turnaround.
Doc, got about 5 minutes. What are the top 3 things you want everybody to know about your book?
Well, like I said, my book is not about how to build a platform. My book is not about how to sell your books or market your books. My book is all about those traps that are so easy to fall into. It's that knowledge. I'm passing it on.
Your book says writers. Is it only for writers, or could radio station cats, maybe even a small town politician, somebody else with an online platform benefit?
Oh, yes, definitely. There's, in fact, the only chapter that is really only for writers is actually the second to last chapter. Because the second to last chapter in the book, I talk about Amazon and I talk about Goodreads. And I talk about, how you deal your author profiles on Amazon and how you deal with your author profiles on Goodreads. I talk about reviewing and I talk about these copyright things. Those are all author-specific stuff. But the rest of it, anyone. If you've got a need for an online platform, this book is going to help you get through and understand what those hidden traps are.
Well, that's cool. Now, your book is finally out. Yay!
Yay!
Yes, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I will bow now.
So this book, even though it has writer in the subtitle, I think it's the subtitle.
Yeah, it is the subtitle.
Anybody can actually benefit. Okay. And goodness knows, I think I'll go double check my domain for privacy protection as soon as we get off the air. Although I think I got it.
I've already checked it, Jess. They're fine.
Thanks, Doc. Now, so other than leaking your information, looking like an idiot, is there one other thing you want to bring up that you can summarize in about a minute and a half that someone could find more information for in the book, but just the thumbnail version?
Email. You've got email. It drives you crazy. Why are you using just one?
You mean I need more than one email?
Yeah, sorry.
I've got about 3, but...
That's probably enough for you, but for a writer, you need 5.
Wow. Well, I'll let them look in the book to figure out what kind. Now, couple more quick things. All right. So you've put a lot of work into this book. You started your own publishing company. Did you design your own cover?
No, I am not that crazy. I do not have a drawing or artistic bone that's of that nature in my body. So I paid for a cover.
Cool. So don't design your own cover.
Unless, of course, you are artistic, because I know there are some people out there who are, and I've seen their covers and they're really beautiful. Right. But I just don't have that flair.
So how about this caveat? Unless you're a graphic artist who knows how to design a cover, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Either that or you're a graphic artist willing to learn how to put together a cover.
Even then, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do it, but that's okay.
Well, it depends. If you can get a good template, you can do a lot of things with a good template.
That's true. Yeah, you can.
So, all right. Anything else you want the listeners to take away? I heard something, a little birdie told me about a special Hidden Traps email list.
Oh, yes. Well, buried in amongst the book is actually resources to a whole bunch of supplementary material. There's a website link to supplementary material that's associated with the book, checklists. There's something about the questions, a comparison chart that you can do and fill in when you're looking at self-hosting and reminding you the questions you need to ask and on those sorts of things. And it's all there, but you have to get the book to get access to the link because it's not actually linked onto the website. It is an exclusive for just the book.
Cool. So that's neat. Now, where can people find out more about you and more about your book?
Well, my book, I've got links on my book on my personal website, which is judylmohr, MOHR.com. I've also got links to my book on my editorial website, which is blackwolfeditorial.com. And then, of course, you will probably find lots and lots of links going out over the course of the next week on my Facebook page. You just search for Judy L. Mohr, or you can find it on Twitter at Judy L. Mohr. And then, of course, you do have the Twitter feed and the Facebook feed for the publishing house, which is Black Wolf Publications. And the Twitter feed for that is just Black Wolf Pub, because, of course, Black Wolf Publications is too long, but that's okay.
All right. Well, as always, folks, you can find me on Twitter at Jessie's POV, or you can email me at the station, jessiespov@klrnradio.com. Or if you're an author, hit me at Jessie at klrnradio.com. Actually, I checked both. It doesn't really matter, but I try and keep you authors over at just Jessie at klrnradio.com. All right, Doc, I think we're
Can I
out
have
of
that
here.
chocolate now?
Thanks, Doc.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you next time in the coffee shop.